Hello Exiles. In the last episode, we managed to get a mirror in the first week of the league, and now it's finally time to pick up the ward items. Let's sell the mirror and go shopping. I'll start by buying the belt, since it's the most important piece of the build. Faith Guard. This helmet gives a nice damage boost on its own, but it also lets me use this jewel for even more damage. Night Grip. This item is how we turn all that ward into damage. Impossible Escape. It's not mandatory, but using it here saves a lot of passive points. I'll grab 2 of these jewels so I can max out my block chance. Ashes of the Stars with 27% quality. New rings with strength, resistances, and life. You need at least 1 open prefix to craft reduced mana cost on them, which really helps since our main skill uses a lot of mana. Rune Grafts. You can slot these into masteries for some really nice bonuses. Now, let's craft the body armor. We need a base like this one with high quality and at least item level 86. I'll use dense fossils to craft it. The goal is to get at least 2 tier 1 defense modifiers on it. We got triple tier 1 mods. Normally, this takes about 400 fossils, so I'm really lucky this time. And lastly, I will swap out my precision gem for this one. To use it, I'll buy an enlightened gem and socket both on my gloves, which have a +1 level corruption. With these upgrades, the damage is much higher, and boss fights are much easier. Let's see how much damage I can do against a tier 17 boss. Well, that's good enough to start farming these maps now. I want to try some different Atlas strategies to see how much I can earn from each and compare their profits using this setup. I will show how many divines per hour I get, but keep in mind this can vary for different players depending on their clear speed and playstyle. Let's start with one of the most popular strategies right now, which is farming high investment strongboxes on tier 17 maps. I rolled my maps to have at least 100% more scarabs and currency. These are the scarabs and atlas tree I used. I will share all the details of these strategies in the description below if you want to check them out. Here is how the loot looks like. So, the amount of divines dropping looks really cool, but we are also investing around 2 divines every map, which is too much in my opinion. I do not really enjoy running such high investment setups myself, because the profit can be inconsistent if you only run a small number of maps. I ran around 40 maps in total, and here is the loot I got from 16 of them. Around 10 divines per hour, which is not bad, but considering the investment, I do not think it was worth it. 16 maps might be too small of a sample size for this kind of strategy, meaning the results could just be unlucky. It also started to feel repetitive after a while, so I am moving on to the next strategy. Before that, I will buy 2 Voices jewels. Right now, I am using 3 large clusters to get 6 medium clusters, but with Voices, I can achieve the same setup using only 2 large clusters. I did not even use the expensive Voices jewels, but even with the 5 small passive ones, I gained 10 passive points to spend elsewhere in the build. I do need to get an extra curse from anointing though, since I removed it from the tree. I will also get this jewel to get back my power charges after removing the large clusters. And now, I want to show a really cool item that I forgot to use in this video. If you have mana problems, this runegraph will completely fix them without even needing leech. As you can see, my mana barely moves while attacking with it. Let's move on to the next strategy. In this one, we will be farming Harbingers in the new originator maps. These are the Scarabs and Atlas tree I used. I rolled my maps to have 140% or more increased currency. All of these were random maps, and I used Horizon orbs to turn them into canyon maps. The loot from Harbingers is pretty straightforward. Most of your profit will come from currency items like Fracturing Orbs, Exalted Orbs, and Chaos Orbs, which you can easily sell without spending too much time. The Harbinger wheels on the Atlas tree do not take many points, so I added Delirium to farm some Delirium Orbs alongside. It is less dangerous than tier 17s, and farming them helped me level up to 95. I got 15 divines per hour in 20 maps, which is great considering the strategy is affordable, less dangerous, and the items are easier to sell. You can roll your Delirium Orbs to increase your profit even more. These orbs are more expensive on the market, so I made roughly 2 or 3 divines just from rolling them. The next strategy is Abyss. Similar to the Strongbox setup, I rolled my maps to have at least 140% more Scarabs and currency. Here are the Scarabs and Atlas tree I used. After running a few maps, this strategy felt like the best one so far. It drops a lot of items, and my inventory was filling up every run. The only downside is that you need to open many chests while following the abysses. This makes it more suitable as a caster strategy since they can open chests using a specific mastery. Now, I'm not sure if this is officially allowed, but there is a neat method called the numlock trick. You bind your automation gem to the numlock key, hold the key down, and then press numlock. This makes your character cast the automation skill repeatedly without needing to press anything, allowing you to use the caster mastery with an attack skill. Well, it doesn't completely solve the clicking issue since the skill is not cast very frequently, so you still need to manually open some of the boxes. I did some quick research and couldn't find any cases of GGG banning players for this trick, so I am going to use it myself. Abyss farming has been the best strategy so far, bringing in around 23 divines per hour. It is also very cheap to run, and I managed to earn more divines in just 20 maps than I did with Strongboxes despite all the investment. I ran 20 more maps to see if I just got lucky earlier, and it was still better than the others. Now, the last strategy is Blight. I have never really tried Blight before, so this is new for me. These are the Scarabs and Atlas tree I used. I blocked Blight on the Atlas tree to remove the Blight Scarabs, and using the map device option for Blight will force it into the map. And here is the mercenary I'm using. It's not the best setup, and there are a couple of expensive items that could improve it, but I use it mainly to apply curses on enemies, some blind chance, and a haste aura. Now, let's get back to farming Blight. In most Blight strategies, you can mostly stay AFK and let your towers handle everything. However, in this setup, you need decent damage because the monsters are too strong for your towers to take down alone. The towers still help with freeze and stun, so be sure to place them wherever you can. Also, you should add this modifier to your map filter because it makes monsters unstoppable, which can cause you to lose your maps. The problem of this strategy is that it can make your game stutter a lot, and I got disconnected a couple of times because of it. But yeah, I kind of like this strategy. The loot explosion at the end looks pretty cool, and building towers is actually a lot of fun. I might end up becoming a Blight farmer after this session. In 20 maps, I made around 14 divines per hour, which is really good in my opinion. It performed just as well as the other strategies, and I actually enjoyed running it. I ran 20 more maps to see if I just got lucky, and the results were almost the same as the first run. Alright, it is time for the best strategy in the game. Let's flip some cards. Well, never again. Let's try some Uber bosses. The damage is more than enough for Uber bosses. I died a couple of times, but that's expected since most of their attacks can't be blocked, and we are playing a very glass cannon setup anyway. As for the build, I bought most of the items I wanted, but I didn't go for a Swollen shield since it costs about as much as the rest of my gear combined, and I'm not looking to go that expensive. This build was a lot of fun, but I think it's time to move on to something new. I already have an idea for my next build, and if you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to share them in my Discord. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll catch you in the next one.